Thank you very much. It's great. Thank you. Thanks. And I'd like to welcome to the stage the best-dressed man in Hong Kong. Parmesh Shahani is the head of Godrej India Culture Lab, and he is also the distinguished author of Gay Bombay, Love and Belonging in Contemporary India. So please join me on stage. Or don't join me, replace me on stage, and I'll see you in 10 minutes. Thanks.
Thank you. Is this on? Can you all hear me? Excellent. I'm not going to make the customary pre-lunch joke, but I'm going to walk about to get us in the mood for lunch, so I am hungry. So there we go. Thank you so much for having me. It's amazing to be here. A big shout out to everyone who's watching the live webcast in India and all over the world. Love you. Thank you so much. It's also amazing to be here, to be part of this learning journey, learning from all of you. And that's been incredible, because if we can come here, learn, take our best practices, share some of the things that we're doing with each other, we can really create the drivers for business as a catalyst of change. So big thank you to The Economist, especially Arun, for actually doing all of this and bringing me here. Before I tell you a little bit about what our company, Godrej, has been doing on this learning journey towards LGBT inclusion, I want to tell you a little bit about my own coming out journey. I came out very, very publicly when I was a student at MIT. I'd organized this film festival that the BBC wrote about. So I got all these phone calls from all over the world telling me, the BBC says that you're gay. And I had to tell them at that time that, the BBC is known for its excellent editorial standards, like The Economist, of course. This was, of course, pre the era of alternative realities and fake news. So at that time, people really believed the media. So that's how I very publicly came out. And then, of course, I came out when I was in Boston. MIT was an incredible environment. When I came back to India, my book came out, and there was no way I could go back in the closet. The book came out in 2008. 2009 was an incredible year for our LGBT community in India, because it was the year that the Delhi High Court decriminalized homosexuality. Like in Singapore, there's 377A, we have 377 in India as well. It's a colonial legacy, one of the wonderful things that the British left us. And the Delhi High Court did away with it. 4 years later, our Supreme Court decided that it was too lovely and we had to bring it back. And it was really unfortunate, because in 2009, when it was decriminalized, thousands of people came out. They came out in their families, they came out in colleges, they came out of the workplace, and now suddenly all these out people were saying, where do we go from here? Oh, we have to jump back. We can't jump back into the closet, right? So the Supreme Court also in the 2013 ruling used very, very horrible terms, like they called LGBT people a minuscule minority. It makes you wonder what the purpose is of a Supreme Court, if not to protect the rights of these minuscule minorities. But the same Supreme Court, a year later, did a very progressive verdict for transgender rights, in which they said transgenders are citizens, equal citizens. You have to provide, the spirit of the Constitution is to provide them with the same rights. Makes you wonder why they couldn't invoke the same spirit of the Constitution a year earlier. But this is the legal, and in a sense, legal political background. We have a very confused law in terms of LGBT. This does not mean that it's criminal to be gay. It's just the law as it stands, Section 377, criminalizes same-sex acts. You're not a criminal if you say you're gay, and if you are a company supporting LGBT rights, you're certainly not criminal if you support LGBT rights, because LGBT rights are human rights, and so on. That's the legal framework. In terms of business, it's really, really, really abject. We had a recent survey by this incredible group called Mingle, a bunch of young corporate LGBT citizens. And some of the statistics were shocking. About 2/3 of all people interviewed reported hearing very, very homophobic comments. It shows that homophobia is completely rampant at the Indian workplace. Discrimination is very, very commonplace, and more importantly, there's a culture of silence that exists about these issues. It's something that I hope that we can all challenge together at our workplaces and in the world at large. So within this legal framework and within this homophobic business context, what's a company like ours, which is Godrej, which is a 119-year young company? We make everything from soaps to components for spaceships. What are we doing within this framework, right? Why are we doing this? And how are we doing this? And I wanted to share both with you and see if we can take this conversation forward, right? Why we're doing this, it's very simple. Many people have made the case for this before. So very briefly, we're doing this because really it's something that's in line with our values. We just believe that our company was formed pre-Indian independence, and we've been very value-based for the past century or so. And we really believe that we cannot exist as a company if we say that we exclude some of our employees and some of our customers and just citizens at large from our imagination of equality. We're also doing this because there's a business case for it, and there's so many reports out there that say that there's a business case with this LGBT people as customers, as employees, and so on. But really, it's a combination of both. It's very in line with our values, and it really makes good business sense. And people see this, as you'll see over the next couple of minutes, right? We do this in a bunch of ways. We do it through our policies. We do it by creating a culture of LGBT inclusion. And we also do it by being vocal advocates for this. So in terms of policies, we probably have one of the best policies. Now, having policies are great. We really want more and more people to come out and use it. But just in terms of our policies, we have equal opportunity policies that cover sexual orientation and gender identity. We have everything, inclusive HR forms and systems. We have anti-harassment policies that is very specific for LGBT harassment. We also have gender-neutral adoption leave for LGBT adoption, although no one's really taken this at this point. And we also do all these sensitization workshops and so on. But for us, we realized when we started this journey 5 years ago that it had to come from the top, which is why it was very interesting hearing the CEO panel in the morning, because in Asia, we're still very hierarchy-oriented. So while there is a bottoms-up recognition that things bubble up, things are way more effective and happen much quicker if the senior leadership says this is something that we do. So in the image, you have Nisa Godrej in the center. Godrej is a large number of Godrej family members are in management. Nisa is from the Godrej family, and she directs a lot of this. For example, she heads these panels. We send out all these messages very often on things like International Day Against Homophobia and so on. And when we hire people, so that's Naira on the right. She's our first transgender employee. Again, we celebrate that. So we have a very strong articulation from the top saying that this is something that we stand for. This is the culture that we're trying to create. We also say that if you don't kind of fit into this culture, then please go work somewhere else. We're an inclusive place. We want to hang out with other inclusive people as well. So it's very strong signaling. The other thing that we do is we really create this culture. It's not just something that exists at a policy level. We really want to imagine Godrej as an LGBT-friendly space. Our company, everything we do, our campus. So I had something called the Godrej India Culture Lab, which is an experimental kind of physical space in our headquarters, which is free and open to everyone. In a sense, we're taking this idea of open source and we are saying, can we create an open source company in which all our resources can become public resources? So one of the things that we do, so it just so happens that about half to 1/3 of our events happen to be LGBT oriented. So it's not just it's not just sponsorship. It's also like becoming a destination, giving all these other resources. It's truly collaborating. So in Mumbai Pride, for example, we have a full Pride month. We host a whole bunch of activities on our campus. Very regularly, we have readings, talks, panel discussions, film screenings. This I'm very, very excited about. These are my friends, the Dancing Queens, which if you haven't seen, you should go online and see them. It's amazing. It's India's leading transgender dance group. We spent 3 months rehearsing the biggest performance, which was on our campus. We made a film of this, which is now being seen at film festivals all around the world. Our scholar in residence made this film. So great fun. We support other things like LGBT film festivals and so on. We constantly run campaigns. We host people. That's Sushant, Mr. Gay India 2014. That's Lakshmi, really celebrate transgender activist. And on the right is Radhika Piramal, who's India's first out and proud lesbian CEO. And she chose Godrej to come out. And so we've kind of become the destination because, when you come out as a company, you attract a lot of other people, as Pauline said in the last session, right? You open yourself up to other people becoming familiar with you, and then they come and hang out with you because you're a safe space. This is fun. We also recruit. So I go on all our recruitment campaigns to business colleges, and I always start my talk with, I'm Parmesh, I'm gay, and I'm here to recruit you. This is like the Harvey Milk talk. And we've realized that, again, harking back to the millennials thing in the morning, right? We realized that for millennials, LGBT, straight, otherwise, they really value this authenticity. They really value that someone comes up and says, this is who we are, come hang out with us. There's so many, I know Goldman has sponsored this, so we, Goldman, Google, we often compete with all of you on college campuses. And the more out you are, the more exciting it is for us to compete, because for other companies, it's actually no competition. They're drawn to us. So the more out companies that we create, it'll be more and more exciting to get really good talent, LGBT or otherwise, as well. When you come out, you realize that cool people come and hang out with you as well. So whenever they've come to India, that's Gandalf, by the way, for those of you who don't know. We hang out with Gandalf, we hang out with Ellen Page, and it's just really good fun. We hang out with folks at the UN. So when you come out as a company, you kind of become this magnet for collaboration. So these are people from the UN Free and Equal campaign, Charles, Fabrice, Salil. When we're in the middle of doing this collaborative document for all companies worldwide, that can then become a manifesto. So if any company wants to be LGBT friendly, it's kind of a draft manifesto for that. We've been having consultations all over the world, and we chose to have these consultations in India at our campus because it's the only space that they felt was inclusive enough. We invited about 25 other diversity and inclusion heads from other Indian companies. We'll see how many of them actually follow up and sign this, because at the end of this meeting, they didn't really want to sign something saying that they were all part of this meeting, so it's a long way ahead. But we're really becoming this kind of space where we're pulling people together and saying, come out. And the third thing is, so the first is, you can have policies. The second is you can create this community. But I think that if you want to really walk that extra mile, you have to be an advocate as a company. So for us, we go out and we talk about why diversity and inclusion is important to us on any panel that we get, like here. I'm in front of you talking about it. We go to the World Economic Forum summits. We talk on TV. We talk on the internet. We write articles in newspapers. The point is to come out. And the point is that just as an individual, as I said earlier, if you come out as a company, if this is something that you're proud of, if it's something that you really believe in, you can really, really make a difference. You can't do this alone. You have to have allies. Your allies can be other companies. Your allies can also be other individuals, other NGOs, friends in politics. But we have to really create a coalition to shift this narrative forward. And the key part of creating this coalition is that for you to yourself be out and proud of who you are as a company. So I'm going to end with just this plea, because I know we have a Q&A session, that you are in this room. You obviously care about this. Don't feel shy. I know some of you have these strange rules and regulations saying that we can be LGBT friendly, but let's not talk too much about it. Let's talk whatever. I think all of that is rubbish. It's not the time to be incremental or take slow, measured steps towards this. I mean, look at the world we're living in. It's a time to really take this leap of faith. And if you do decide to take this leap of faith, there'll be many, many others who will take the leap of faith with you as well. So thank you so much for your time. I think we have a couple of minutes left. So thank you.
That was great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Let's take, we have time for one or two questions from the audience. Yes, sorry, right in the center there.
Hi, my name's Peter Redding. I work at the Equal Opportunities Commission in Hong Kong. Thanks, Parmesh. It's amazing the work you're doing in India. Very inspiring. I have a question just about your last point about advocacy, because in Hong Kong, like India, we currently have no comprehensive LGBTI anti-discrimination laws. And so a big piece of our work right now is advocating for legal change. But also, for the first time, we've now got 75 business and other organizations that are supporting the call for legislation. And so my question is, are you doing that sort of thing in India? And is there anything you think perhaps we could also learn about what you may be doing?
So we are creating a coalition in India on the ground. There's a lot of incredible work happening in terms of the law. There's a lot of incredible NGO work happening in terms of healthcare and so on. Within the corporate space itself, we've been trying to create a coalition with the UN, with others, about LGBT-friendly companies. So we all kind of know each other. They all have, very, very powerful, passionate people who want to create this change. They also all have their own constraints into how much leeway they're allowed. So we're trying to create this coalition. Our thing at Godrej has been very, very simple. If this is something that we care about and we believe in, we don't think that there's anything wrong in going out and talking about it. With that, we're hoping to inspire other companies to do the same and create this coalition. For us, though, this coalition building is going to take a lot of time. Things take a lot of time. We'd hoped in 2009, when the Delhi High Court decriminalized, we would reach 2017, we would be much, much, much ahead. The strange rulings have given us a bit of a setback, but what it's also done within the community itself has been create a lot of solidarity within LGBT people, within LGBT organizations, and certainly companies that support this, that this is going to be a long haul, this is going to be a long struggle, and we need to do this slowly and together. Although I'm not a fan of doing stuff slowly. I really want to do stuff fast. So a lot of the other, say corporate partners, a lot of the other companies, however well-meaning, often leave me exasperated. Because I want them to jump off and do this with us. The same level of intensity, also the same level of being conscious of time. I'm 41 right now. I'd hoped some years ago that I would live in a free and equal country in which I could perhaps live a life. I mean, I pay a lot of income tax, for example. So as a citizen, I'm participating in the country. I want to have the same benefits as other citizens. So I want to at least die in a free and equal India. So I'm very conscious of time. I think within companies, within the corporate world itself, if there are LGBT employees which are part of these diversity networks, it's much more urgent for them than for, say, other well-meaning allies as well. So we're building these coalitions. It's taking far longer than I had hoped for, and I'm impatient. So, yeah.
Another question, one more. That's fine, my turn.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Right down in the front, please.
Yeah.
So if you could look into a crystal ball, when will India become that free, equal society that you want it to be? Or at least when will it finally actually fully repeal that law?
So I don't know when the law will be repealed. It could happen soon. It could take a long, long time. That's the thing with the judicial process. It takes its own, it goes on its own trajectory. But what's important for us, at least within society, within corporations, within colleges, is for us to have these conversations, for those who can come out, should come out, for companies that can be progressive and supportive to be, because by the time, lawmakers don't live in a bubble, they also live in this world. And if we can create enough pressure, certainly through business, and tying it up to other things so that when the next hearing comes or whatever, there's enough of a momentum for lawmakers to actually think that this is not, that they should rule favorably, at least in favor of LGBT rights. I think we'll be doing ourselves a lot of service. We are doing that, which is why it's after the 2013 really terrible Supreme Court judgment, there's a sense of urgency within the LGBT movement in India before that wasn't there before, and it's very, very exciting. This renewed sense of urgency and passion. But I have no idea. I have no idea.
We are just about out of time. Please join in thanking Parmesh for this wonderful session. And upstairs, lunch, second floor, the Market Restaurant. Please be back down here at 1:40 p.m.
Thank you.
That was great. Thank you.